Welcome to Phone Mart. How may I help you?
I heard you are a part of the Zeitgeist movement. What is that?
It is the activist arm of the Venus Project.
What is that?
It is a social vision unlike any political, economic, or social system that has been proposed before. It is based on a resource-based economy.
What is that?
It is a system in which all goods and services are available to everyone without the use of money, barter, debt or servitude, also known as work.
Why do we need a resources-based economy?
Our current monetary economic system is not capable of providing a high standard of living for everyone, nor can it ensure the protection of the environment, since the major motive of industry is profit.
What do you mean by a high standard of living?
All members of society would have access to all of the necessities to sustain life, such as medical care, education, food, clothing, housing, entertainment, leisure time and more.
Sounds great, but don't we have to have the money?
If all money in the world were destroyed, as long as we have sufficient arable land, the factories, the necessary resources, and technical personnel, we could build anything, and even supply in abundance.
But it would take the economic collapse to get the world to stop using the money.
What do you mean, would? It's happening right now. The bank bailouts, record foreclosures, student debt defaults, increasing unemployment, QE1, QE2, global currency debasement, and entire countries going bankrupt, looks like economic collapse to me. Unfortunately, social change has always been brought about by economic collapse, corruption in government, and/or abuse of the population.
Won't the rich people want to stop this kind of system?
Yes, they would, but if they keep using automation in their industries, in order to compete for market share while preserving profits, millions of people will be replaced by machines. As unemployed workers lose purchasing power, the very industries that depend on these consumers can no longer function. This will bring an end to the outdated monetary system.
Won't all the nations have to agree to give up the money?
Yes, our problems today are global in their scope and impact. They cannot be solved by any one nation.
What are the benefits of the resources-based economy?
Without money, no one can sell anything, and with everything in abundance, it would not be profitable to steal anything from anyone.
Oh.
Without scarcity, ownership, and differential advantage, the basis for unhealthy human aggression will be outgrown.
Oh.
People will no longer be burdened by mortgages, healthcare costs, insurance, recession, unemployment, depression, and taxes.
Oh.
People would be free to pursue whatever constructive endeavor they choose, without the economic pressures, restraints, and taxation from the monetary system.
Oh.
When education and resources are available to all without a price tag, there will be no limit to human potential.
Oh.
With these major alterations, people would eventually live longer, more meaningful and healthier lives.
Oh.
The measure of success would be the fulfillment of one's individual pursuits, rather than the acquisition of wealth, property, and power.
Oh. So, how do you plan to make the resources-based economy happen?
First, enhance public awareness of the need and the solution through education, like I'm doing with you right now. Second, utilize an experimental research facility to blueprint the initial technologies and designs that are required. Third, build a themed facility to appeal to the masses and engage them in an immersive experience that will entertain and inform visitors. The rest of the plan will emerge as interest increases.
I see. So what's stopping the project from advancing?
Simple. Social and cultural lag. Unfortunately, most education today is designed as propaganda, rather than information related to the physical laws that govern all living and non-living systems.
Do we have the technologies to do all this?
We've had the technology since 1920.
Do we have the materials to do all this?
There are more than the necessary materials available for the construction and maintenance of such eco-cities right now.
What will the government look like?
Only during the transition to a resource-based economy would it be necessary to utilize the services of systems analysts, engineers, computer programmers, designers, etc. to govern the implementation. But this will not be political governance.
What do you mean? How will the decisions be made?
Decisions would not be based on local politics, but on a holistic problem-solving approach. For example, with electrical sensors extended into the agricultural region, computerized systems would manage and control agriculture by monitoring the water table, insects, pests, plant diseases, soil nutrients, and so forth. The information processed will enable us to arrive at more appropriate decision-making based on feedback from the environment.
Isn't it just decent people that we need in the government?
Even with the election of men and women of impeccable character into government, without available resources and advanced technology, war, poverty, and corruption will prevail, no matter how many new laws are passed or treaties signed.
Isn't this just the communism/socialism?
Communism has armies, police, prisons, social stratification, money, banks, a labor class, and is managed by appointed leaders. Most importantly, communism did not eliminate scarcity, nor do they have a blueprint or the methods for the production of abundance.
Don't we need the laws? We would need a government to make the laws.
Social responsibility would not be a function of artificial laws or force. Safeguards against abuse and harm could be designed into the environment and our systems.
Okay, but I like the democracy. What happens to the democracy?
This would be a democracy. Without vested interests and the use of money, there is little to be gained by squelching opinion, falsifying information, or taking advantage of others. There are also no underlying rigid social barriers limiting the participation of anyone, or restraining the introduction of new ideas. Everyone would be able to share their ideas. This would in fact finally be a true democracy.
I still don't understand. If there is no government, who makes the decisions?
No one does.
What? What do you mean?
Decisions are not made, they are arrived at.
What do you mean?
The process of arriving at decisions would not be based upon the opinions of politicians, corporate, or national interests, but rather all decisions would be arrived at based upon the introduction of newer technologies and Earth's carrying capacity.
Okay, I think I get it. But what about those that will abuse their power?
In a resource-based economy, we surpass the need for money, which is the basis for most corruption. The society we envision makes all goods and services available for everyone without a price tag. There will be nothing to gain that they don't already have access to.
We have passed the peak oil production, so where are we going to get the energy to eliminate the scarcity and achieve the abundance?
The potential of untapped energy sources is almost limitless if we utilize geothermal, solar, wind, wave, and tidal sources. The potential of geothermal energy alone is almost limitless and can easily supply enough energy for all of the world's needs.
If there isn't the money, what about incentive or motivation?
Human beings need challenges in order to evolve intellectually and maintain a high level of curiosity and a need to overcome shortages. The incentive, which will propel people, is the end of war, territorial disputes, economic hardship, debt, and the basis for most crimes, as they will all be eliminated.
If no one has to work for the money, what will people do with their time?
Are you actually asking me that question?
Yes.
Children are curious about everything, and if nurtured they could have a much greater range of interests and abilities. This culture does a wonderful job of limiting people's interests, opportunities, and abilities, and it conditions them to be lazy. People are not born that way, any more than they are born with bigotry, hatred, prejudice, or particular values.
What about religion?
Religion is a great idea. We need to actually try to transform these lofty ideals into a working reality for the inhabitants of our planet.
This sounds like a utopia. Isn't this a bit idealistic?
The Venus Project is not a utopian concept. There is no such thing as a utopian society. Societies are always in a state of transition. The Venus Project only proposes a direction. Our future will emerge from the decisions we all make today.
I don't think this Venus Project is realistic.
People did not think going to the moon was realistic. What is your point?
I don't know how we are going to get rid of the money.
Just because you don't know where your next meal will come from, doesn't mean you give up looking for food.
Good point. Thank you for your time. I have to go, but I still have more questions. Where can I get more information?
Try a Google search. Goodbye.